Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast on this Wednesday in Chicago. It is sunny. That is the outlook for the Bears.
Hoge tying in the weather with the Bears on a hump day. Braggs is in a great mood. You're in a great mood. I've got a brand new Kobe white hoodie.
Sweet.
Oh,
it's a sweet design.
You score 37, I go out and get a hoodie. Not that I did time it.
Get the Kobe white hoodie.
Okay. Kobe white hoodie, baby.
I like it. Welcome into the show. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr. with you. Well, I don't know if Greg is with us or not, but Carman and I are definitely here.
Greg's here. He's just
tweeting the show.
He's tweeting the show. He's promoting the show. He's doing great work as always. He is our hero. There is nobody better. There's no one more dedicated. He was here for 48 hours yesterday, and even though the day is only 24 hours long.
See, I thought you were Taco Bell head chef in the chat, and you were just putting these messages in here.
Oh, whoa.
That's your kind of guy.
Hell yeah. Liv Moss.
Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our show. We just hit our goal of 50,000 YouTube subscribers. We're not stopping there. 100 is next. Damn it.
The sooner the better.
51,000 is next.
What I'll promise, tell you about Braggs, if we get to 100. I mean, he just gave us all the ammo about 40 minutes ago. So
Go over my criminal history.
yeah.
Sure.
Like, not even kidding.
No,
Yeah.
we're not going to relive your conversation of when you tried to do whatever you did as a child. That makes me wonder why.
None of it counts before you're 18.
Yeah, okay.
For the record.
I'm really happy that I get to hang out.
Not on the record.
No, it's just, you're a great man, and you've come a long way, so congratulations.
That's right. In case you missed what the Braggs news was, I mean, I would recommend going back and listening to yesterday's podcast, but it was that he grew up an IU fan, and he's a fraud. That was what it was.
And he's probably going to leave the Bears and become a Packer fan when one of his friends becomes a Packer player. And so just let's enjoy
Greg. Good game last night, Purdue, Illinois, baby.
Let's enjoy Greg while he's here before he goes and does Packer After Dark.
Packer After Dark. Head over to @CHGO_Bears on Twitter. Please vote on our poll. Today's poll is, what is the best spot for, let me get their exact poll up. What do we say here? Which team is the best fit for Justin Fields in a trade? The options: the Falcons, the Patriots, the Steelers, and Raiders. And we got some hypothetical trades we are sharing on today's show. Before we get to that, though, make sure you go over to CHGO Locker. Check out our new Chicago collection that we released this week. These things are flying off the shelves. You got your train hoodie. I think that's what we're calling it. Your tavern hoodie. Your Second City shirt, which we crossed out the second, which is classic. And then
Great move.
Yeah, and then your St. Patrick's. Really, I'm going to have to get the St. Patty's shirt because I don't wear green. Mainly because I just don't like Michigan State.
It's that Cubby scoreboard green, too, which is right up my alley.
Yeah. Papa Hoge jumping in here. Greetings from sunny Arizona. Have a great show. Congrats on 50K.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Papa Hoge.
Pops.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to see the White Sox play today, but I hope he is. It's good for him. All right, should we jump into these hypothetical trades?
Yes, absolutely. I would also like to throw out a challenge to our handy-dandy, diehard YouTube chatters. I just considering as we start to go through this, for those of you who screamed at us the loudest that we were being unfair to Justin and that we didn't know what we were talking about, and that that all three of us, all four of us, all seven of us who do the show were complete idiots. Now that you see that the entire NFL is basically telling you Justin Fields' value, if anybody would like to apologize for the way they treated us and put it in the chat, I apologize. Specifically, if you apologize to me, I will find you on Twitter and make it worth your while, because I think apologies are important in life. It's good to say you're sorry, and I'm accepting apologies on this day, as there's literally no team in the NFL currently right now that wants to make Justin Fields a starter, which is a little bit surprising, but that's what's happening.
Well, okay, literally right now, I still think someone's going to trade for him, and he will be starting week 1 for a different team. But if your overall point is the league is telling you how they feel about Justin Fields, that does seem to be what's happening.
El Sancho in the chat, I apologize for absolutely nothing.
Sancho, you're not getting something from me.
Well, we'll go over our hypotheticals
later.
later.
I don't need apologies.
I
totally understand why Bears fans love Justin Fields, and that it's hard for them to accept what is happening right now. I totally understand that. Where I do take exception, and the only reason I saw this is because people pointed this out to me yesterday, but like people that are apparently accusing us of, what was one of them, shitting on Justin Fields all offseason. What was the other one? The other one was
that it was disingenuous to wish him a happy birthday yesterday, which was, from our main account, this main CHGO account, regardless. But shitting on him all offseason, which I don't think any of us have done.
No, literally, that's what I was going to say. If someone can show me one single clip of any of us doing that, I'd love to see it. And that doesn't mean talking about his limitations and criticizing some of his football stuff on the field. That's just doing our job.
Because I know we've pulled the clip, because I've clipped it, where you've said he's too fucking talented to not be successful in this league.
Right, which I still believe.
Right, it may not be with this team.
Right.
If they chose to keep him, I think we've all agreed that there is a pathway to success next year. The discussion is more about what's the best path for the Bears. And it's a layered discussion, but I sent a picture to the person in question saying that we're being disingenuous, wishing him a happy birthday. I said, well, there's like 30, 40 employees of this company. Not everybody shares the view of the three of us, especially Corey Wooten, who's on our shows every Monday night on Bears After Dark. I took a picture of Jake's office. I was like, is this the look of someone that is disingenuous about their love or affinity for Justin Fields? Like, there's plenty of Justin Fields supporters here at CHGO Sports, but the three of us have kind of gotten to the point of they're gonna draft Caleb Williams, but that doesn't mean that we don't appreciate or support the player that Justin Fields was for the Chicago Bears, and acknowledge that he didn't have the best hand dealt to him while he was here.
Okay, that's better. Because, listen, all I know is from this particular seat, and like Hoge had his moments of just too effing talented. You had your moments. I had stand with Fields. I had cheer the shit out of him for the last game at Soldier Field. I had do not boo him. And I've never said the dude is not a viable player in the NFL. But I also said that this is not going the way you
and I've seen
that he's not an elite quarterback. I said top 15 quarterback in the NFL, like that would be a goal, and people screamed from the highest mountain that was not realistic.
Too fucking talented from Hoge. Stand with Fields, support the guy while he's still a Chicago Bear.
First class dude.
I sat here and said I'll trust in Ryan Poles because I'm a huge Ryan Poles advocate. Anybody that's watched the show knows that. And if he still chooses to trade back the number one pick for a haul, there is a pathway to success. So I'm going to stand on what I said and say I'm trusting in Poles. Now, do I believe Ryan Poles is going to draft Caleb Williams? Yes, I do. But we're still, a week or two or, 5 weeks, 50 days away from all of this being decided. But we're getting closer to a resolution and answers to these hypotheticals. And I know it's a nauseating conversation for everybody, and we're all over it. We've been over it a million times, and we just want to get to a point where we have an answer so we can start to come together as a fan base.
Yeah, look, I don't need apologies. I totally understand why Justin Fields fans feel the way they do. The only thing at all that gets at me is like when throwing out accusations like that, when talking about him as a quarterback is that is not shitting on anybody. Talking about nuanced football breakdown and why the Bears are going down the road they appear to be headed down. That's literally our job to do. And then having some of those same people tear down Caleb Williams in a way that actually is shitting on Caleb Williams, that is unfair, taking some of these rumors to new levels that aren't even true just because of their love for Justin, that's incredibly hypocritical.
Yep.
And unfortunately, there's been a lot of that going on. So whatever, like that's fine. Like, it's our job to sit here, sort through that, get through that, continue to try to educate the fans on what's going on. My funniest thing yesterday was one of the videos we put up about, where I think this thing is headed. We put it on Instagram, and there was a lot of comments immediately like, where do these guys get this stuff from? And I just wanted to be like, well, I don't know. We were in Indianapolis at the biggest NFL convention for an entire week talking to pretty much anybody.
Right.
Where do you get your stuff from?
Right.
It's like it's not, none of the stuff's being made up, guys. It's just but I get it. I also get why it's not what you want to hear. So, and that's fine. That's part about being a fan.
Well, and I just saw in the comments that Carm wrote a song for Tyson Bagent. Yes, it was a song for Tyson Bagent for QB2. I also wrote a Justin Fields song.
Oh, God.
Which I would love to sing for you right now, but I don't know if I'm going to have the support on this program to do.
Go for it. Go for it, Carm.
I don't know. Jake Flanagan
Jake
walked over here
Jake
briefly,
just walked away.
and then he walked away
You
when
don't
you
want to hear
started
the
talking about
song,
singing.
Jake? Come on.
We've made it a few
Justin
months without
Fields
you
song.
singing. It's been
Come
pretty
back.
nice.
I think that Jake should come back and sing it with me as a proud general manager
He
of the
just
show.
literally
He
left
literally
the building.
he left. He walked out. But so yeah, I mean, I had it down. Almost heaven, Soldier Field. Don't look terrified. Pristine lakefront, Chicago skyline. This is for you, Justin. Happy birthday. Winning's hard here, impossible it seems. Bottom of the NFL, Super Bowl we dream. Justin Fields, come on, Braggs, run the ball, yeah, to the place you belong, in the end zone, scoring touchdowns. That's right, Justin Fields. Run the ball. Now that song was shot down, but it was written, and I have more lyrics.
Wait, you never? I was gonna say, I don't think you did. You ever sing that on the show?
No, because like things went so sideways at that point that like it just fell apart. But it's here. It was done. So don't tell me that I didn't sing. I mean, I didn't, but I had it.
Even the most loyal Justin Fields fan now wants him traded, so they don't have to hear that song.
I'll give you a little spoiler. The day there's a breaking news show that Justin Fields has been traded, if and when that happens, from my standpoint, that won't be a celebration show. I'm not coming on there and ringing the bell. We're finally here. Like, to me, that will mark a sad day, because Justin Fields came here as somebody Bears fans, he unified the fan base. I mean, we once booed the Mitch Trubisky pick. They booed him at the Bulls game. But when they drafted Justin Fields, there was an elation of the fan base. You know, that was finally bringing in a talent that we had really never seen at the quarterback position. I'll still remember the guy that announced the pick for Justin Fields. He said, "My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields." It was one of the coolest calls I've ever heard at the podium of an NFL draft. And it didn't work out for a lot of different reasons. But, it won't be a happy day the day they have to trade him. But it will be a day we finally get an answer to the question we've been wringing our, fists about for, several months now.
Well, meanwhile, more importantly, Carm has apparently set off dogs everywhere. Multiple comments coming in. The coyotes.
Not Poppy. She loves it.
Howling. There was another one that says, "My dog is barking." What? Someone, I think, said you broke their speaker. John Denver is rolling in his grave.
Well, that might be true.
And El Sancho says, and now we're under 50,000 subs.
Whoops.
Yep.
No problem. Well, look, Kadek's on vacation. He hates my singing probably more than anyone, so it was a good time for it.
Papa Hoge, thumbs down in the chat.
Wow,
Come
you got a
on.
thumbs down from Papa Hoge.
Damn.
Papa Hoge?
That's
You're barking up the wrong tree, Papa Hoge.
Edward Elric, Poppy must be deaf.
Don't give Elric. Elric's my nemesis, man. You can't be giving him props for his funny kind of lines. Listen, there's my guy. Where's Tony? No, come on. Poppy loves it.
All right. Well, regardless,
Let's do the mock trades that we came up with that are brilliant.
we're going to keep covering this as it is. And so do we want to start this with the video of Field Yates? We talked to Field
Set
Yates.
the table a little.
We talked to Field Yates at the Super Bowl. We were talking about possible places that Justin Fields could end up, and we just wanted to bring this back to kind of set the table for this conversation. Where should Justin Fields land if that's the road they go down? So I don't know if we want to talk through some situations.
Let's do it.
I mean, I'm like New England at 3. No.
I mean, I can't imagine they would be influenced to do it.
Instead of taking a...
I mean, if they view Justin as decidedly better than whoever they think the third quarterback prospect is, actually the second quarterback prospect, because let's just say, no, I'm just making this up here. Let's say New England's board stacks up, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. All right, but if they feel like the only one out of those three that is a no doubt about it player is Caleb Williams, maybe, but I don't think Justin has done enough in 3 years to definitively say, based off what I've seen from those three guys, that that door you could go through with with Jaden or Caleb or Drake is a lesser path than what you have with Justin Fields. So I think we're talking more about the teams that are not in the top 3, but also don't know if you can justify taking a quarterback at pick 8 if you're Atlanta, pick 12 if you're Denver, pick 13 if you're the Raiders. The Raiders obviously an interesting one because of the Luke Getsy connection. It either means that the Raiders are going to be extremely interested in a trade or completely turned off by a trade, right? I don't think Luke Getsy would go to Tom Telesco, their new GM, and be like, yeah, it'd be okay. He'd either be like, absolutely, let's do it, or he'd say, no way. I think the problem last year was not me; it was actually Justin, right? I'm not trying to put words in Luke's mouth. I'm just saying, his stance on Justin's probably pretty strong one way or the other.
So I think my first takeaway from that is that conversation was a month ago now.
That jerk, Field Yates.
He's nailed it, man. Although,
Why are you calling him a jerk?
Because I asked him to mock Rome Odunze to 9, and then he didn't do it. I threatened him.
Yeah, we know. You threatened a lot of people that week. It was embarrassing.
Field is a really nice guy that I threatened.
You threatened him again last week. We saw him in India.
Then I saw him at the combine, and I threatened him again.
Well, we learned earlier today that he's been threatening people since
Not threatening.
Well, yeah, shooting people since since he was 15, albeit with a BB gun.
Yeah,
but
Well, my point is, even in that conversation a month ago, it's hard to find an obvious landing spot for Justin Fields. And now we're here, basically the start of free agency. It's Monday coming up, 11 a.m., when negotiations can start to happen. Where's Kirk Cousins going to land? All this stuff. But, Justin Fields hasn't been moved. And the market, at least reportedly, seems kind of soft. And even in that conversation we had with Fields, it's kind of hard to find that right spot, to the point that even when we tasked ourselves to come up with these hypothetical trades, I know I don't feel great about mine. But But and you heard Field, who knows the Patriots pretty well, kind of shoot down the idea of the Patriots, but too bad. I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, yeah, no, I listen. Your logic is not terrible, but I'm with Field on this. You have the number 3 pick in the draft. You're taking whatever quarterback is left, I would think.
Right. So now here's where I came from on this one, and we can throw my hypothetical trade up here, where I'm going Patriots. This is essentially the argument that the pro Justin Fields, I want Marvin Harrison Jr. crowd wants, which is and the only reason we're not going along with it is because the Bears have access to Caleb Williams. The Patriots don't have access to Caleb Williams. So in this scenario that I'm proposing, it would be the Patriots decide that they don't necessarily love whoever that third quarterback is as much as they love Marvin Harrison Jr., and they go all in to make that pairing that so many Bears fans have been dreaming about. So in this hypothetical Fields trade, I have the Bears getting the 34 overall pick back from the Patriots, but, and this is kind of based more on what it seems like the market is right now, in order to get that high of a pick back, they might have to send something back. So maybe this ends up being a future fourth rounder. Maybe it's next year's fourth rounder. I don't know. But I do have them having to throw in the fourth round pick, one of their 2 fourth round picks. This is their pick, not the Eagles pick that the Bears also have, to end up getting that high second rounder in return. And that wouldn't surprise me right now. It would not surprise, regardless of who the team is and whatever the specifics are, would not surprise me if the Bears have to throw in an extra draft pick, whether it be 2025 or this year, to get that high of a pick now at this point.
I find your trade interesting. Let me say that. And what I also find interesting is if you're New England in that spot, and let's say you love Drake May and he ends up going number 2, and you're not that in on Jaden, or vice versa, whatever, and somebody's willing to pay a lot to come up to 3, and you like Justin, that you can get a big haul for 3.
Right.
This is the opposite, not taking Marvin part of it, but you get a big haul for it, and then I can get Justin Fields for a steal, 3rd round pick, because nobody's banging down the Bears' door. I don't hate that move for New England.
Well, and I want to emphasize again, this is what everyone who's been in our comments or watching the show and screaming at their TV that, like, you can get a haul. Like, I hear you, man. I think it's great logic.
Yeah.
There's just one problem. Caleb Williams is staring the Bears in the face.
Right.
And I'm telling you, he's special, okay? And so that all those arguments, keep Justin, go with Marvin Harrison Jr., take a haul instead. Like, all of that stuff is totally valid for a team that can't get Caleb. I hear you. And that's why I understand what Fields saying there 100%, and I also am with the logic of, well, why would you draft a guy why would you trade for a guy who's only got, you pick up his 5th-year option, you only get him for 2 years, he's going to be more expensive. If you have more success with him, you don't reset all that stuff. Why would you not just take Jaden Daniels and start over with a rookie? And that might be part of it too. But it's literally that argument that Justin Fields fans are making. I think it actually does apply to other teams who can't get Caleb Williams.
Well, also with your scenario, if that happened, that New England trades for Justin and they draft Marvin and that works and Caleb doesn't, that would be the ultimate Bears nightmare.
We all understand that. However this gets picked, if it doesn't work out for the Bears, it's a nightmare. I mean, you can draw that up any way the decision is made.
But that would be like the exact thing the Bears could do. So,
when we were at the Super Bowl, media row, Tony Maserati, who's covered, New England sports for a long time. He's on, 98.5, the Sports Hub on the Felger and Maz show. He was a huge proponent of trading for Justin Fields to New England. He was really, really talking about that a lot with me, and it seems like guys in New England would sign off on that, people that cover the team, people that are fans of the team. It would surprise me if they drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. at 3. If they decide to not take a quarterback, I just think the market is going to be so hot for teams that want to trade up to take Jaden Daniels or J.J. McCarthy potentially there at 3, or whoever, Drake May, whatever, that the trade back that you can get to bolster your team, especially a team like the New England Patriots, who have been known for, stockpiling draft picks and trading back for years. That's what made them, the most dominant franchise in sports history over the last 20 years. So it would be interesting to see how that played out.
Let's go to your trade.
okay. All right. My hypothesis is based on where the betting markets are.
Can you please move your microphone away from your face the next time you make that noise?
I'll try.
It's not for me. I'm going to hear it either way. I'm thinking about our listeners back home.
All right. I'm going to have beef with producer Steven for using that stupid-ass picture as my... I mean, you had a sweet avatar, and you just went with fat Carm face.
It'll get better if we move on, I promise.
I mean, look at this stupid-ass guy
I
that's
promise
staring
you'll
at
be
me. It's just
laughing
painful. Good God.
He's trying to set you up for something.
Okay. Well, so I'm following the betting markets, and the betting markets right now are heavy to that Atlanta is the favorite. So I'm sticking with that. And I've got the Falcons have 2 third-round picks, 74 and 79. I went back and forth. Would they try to do 79 and the Bears would accept it? But I figured that in order to do a third-rounder, we're not going to quibble. They'll give them the higher pick at 74, and they throw in a 2025 fifth-round pick, which I was going to go even further and say a conditional. Maybe it can move up to a fourth depending on how Justin plays. But I have them going to Atlanta. A third-round pick this year and a fifth the next. I don't think Cousins ends up back in Minnesota.
It doesn't seem to be the way it's going.
I know there's momentum, but I'm gonna hold out that look, you're paying JJ. He's been there. I understand you can draw a lot of lines to Atlanta, Zach Robinson, his wife, all the things. But I'm gonna in my scenario, I've got Cousins staying in Minnesota, and to me, Fields fits best in Atlanta with billboards, putting butts in the seats, and getting an opportunity to show what he can do back home.
Yeah, I think from a marketability standpoint, the billboards, and that's his hometown. Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, I could see that. But from a scheme fit, I'm not exactly sure if Atlanta is the right fit for an offensive scheme standpoint. So I don't know if that's it there. If you talk about Pittsburgh, you saw Jeremy Fowler, who we spoke to, a few times at the Super Bowl, and then he was all over the place at the Combine. He's saying, he was on with us at the Combine. He was saying that it seems like Pittsburgh is going to roll with Kenny Pickett this year, which would surprise me. I thought Pittsburgh would have been a prime candidate. You look around at some different options, and I don't know which one makes the most sense, but did we have some audio here to play? Because this is, with Rich Eisen.
We're not. We can't use that.
Okay, we're not going to use it. So Rich Eisen, had his top 10 rumors he heard at the Combine this year. And if you remember, just from a Bears standpoint, last year, he was the one to come out the day after the Combine and say, the Bears are trading the number 1 pick. And it felt imminent. And then just, a week later, all of a sudden, there's the trade. And it definitely seemed like Rich was in the know in that regard. Well, one of his top 10 things he heard this year was that the New York Giants, are completely done with Daniel Jones. Completely done was what he said.
I saw one mock, not to interrupt you, but I saw one mock that's got JJ going to him at 6. Go ahead.
Right. So, trying to connect some dots here and looking at what the Giants have at their disposal. When Sam Darnold was traded, if you look at that package, you look at, different trades to try to compare what Justin Fields' value would be with his resume attached to it. The Giants have 2 second-round picks. So my mock is that it's just straight up their second-round pick. There's your picture. Look, we found it for you. There's your second-round pick.
That's amazing.
With the number 47 pick. And
you have an earring?
No.
It's just lighting.
Just a lighting.
It was hard to crop this. It's from
second round. It
looks like
pick.
an earring. I want it to be an earring.
It's
I want Braggs.
Yeah. Justin Timberlake earring.
For those people listening to the podcast, we have a photo of Braggs wearing an Indiana hoodie. Mm-hmm. Jacket or hoodie? Hoodie.
There's a T-shirt, an IU T-shirt on underneath that as well.
Yeah.
Backwards Bears hat.
It's fat Braggs, too. Not today's Braggs.
Taco Bell Braggs.
That's not me. That's my fat brother.
It almost doesn't look like you.
Yeah.
If you wanted to deny the IU part of your life,
that's not
you could
me.
actually claim that that's not
No.
you.
You do look happier there.
That's
than
Bill
ever been.
Braggs. That's Bill Braggs.
You look happier than Justin does in the photo next to you.
So, yeah, like I said, the Giants have 2 second-round picks. This is their second-round pick. So the Giants don't lose, the top half of the second round. The Bears get into the second round. Clean cut trade. You might have a couple other teams going after him. Like the Raiders were one of the other teams that I think could potentially get into this because, like we were saying, I think one of the more interesting revelations that I learned at the Combine through conversations were that Luke Getsy and Justin Fields actually do get along really well.
Great relationship.
So that surprises me. I would have never believed that, but apparently that's the truth. And
someone on the show tried to tell you that at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I don't listen to you.
But you weren't listening.
I only listen to Kevin Fishbain.
I would have said the same thing. I'm actually surprised to hear you say that. You really thought they had a bad relationship?
Yeah, because just watching the press conferences throughout the year, he'd constantly talk about lack of execution. I always got really, took exception to him not taking personal accountability, that being Luke Getsy, for the play calling aspect of the problem with the offense, and then just looking at it from a perspective of Justin versus Luke and both of their reputations taking a hit this year, I would have thought they both were kind of blaming each other for that. But that actually wasn't the case. They actually got along really well, so by all accounts. So they're on the table, but I don't know if they're going to be the one to jump in. But maybe. But I got the Giants as the team that is the team, because I think once a team offers a second-round pick, that's when the Bears are going to pull the trigger.
Jake Flanagan, our general manager, at $9.99 paying our salaries. You can get a haul because there is belief Caleb will be special in the NFL. It's not a certainty. Call me crazy. I may be. I've seen Fields be special. If he stays, the Bears are 23 months from winning Super Bowl 59. I mean, first of all, let's just show respect to somebody who is staying in his lane, who has – there's a lot of people that have jumped out of Justin Fields' lane that were driving down Justin Fields' lane, and Jake Flanagan is not one of those people, period. End of story. Now, the rest of that is a little optimistic, perhaps.
He said, call me crazy. Okay, you're crazy.
Well, Trey thinks he's on drugs, which he's not. I mean,
He's not.
He's very sober.
Yeah.
I guess we think he is.
Look.
He's drunk on Justin, though. He's got a little drunk Justin to him.
Yeah, I'm looking at his office. Yeah. Well.
Panko is.
Look, not all of us are ready for change. Sometimes things need to change.
What is this, the Brady Bunch, by the way? When it's time to change.
It's actually a Miller Lite ad.
Oh.
One thing that does it, the
great.
great taste of Miller Lite, it was the original light beer, and to this day, it's still the best one. Miller Lite has more of the taste you want, less of the stuff you don't. Kind of like how Caleb Williams is more of what you want, less of the stuff you don't.
I was going to say that I'm Miller Lite and Braggs isn't. That's what I was thinking, but that might be.
Miller Lite keeps it simple, undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need, holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer, less filling, only 96 calories. It's the original light beer since 1975. No matter how your team changes, you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. That's what we're going to be doing here at CHGO. It tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football. That's right, MillerLite.com/CHGO football. You can get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, or you can find it, pretty much anywhere beer is sold. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces.
And with our friends at Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, Gregory, PL, and Braggs. You get the right product for your needs. You get quick and professional installation. You get the low price guarantee. Empire Today, the best place to get new flooring. Got a bunch of copycats out there, but Empire's not going to be beaten on quality. They're not going to be beaten on service. They're not going to be beaten on speed. Now, you will get some competitors that will throw out the low price in there, but that's because the quality is not anywhere close to what Empire Today is going to bring to your home. They also, by the way, for people that are not that intelligent, they keep shopping for floors simple with the curated product selection. Empire's philosophy is to find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. What they leave out of their selection is as important as what they put in. Empire's products team exhaustively combs through thousands of product samples each year to find the perfect styles. So you know you're getting the best here. When you do your flooring, do it with Empire today. Schedule a free home estimate today. All listeners, that's you. You can get $350 off. Get that discount when you use the promo code CHGO. Restrictions do apply, but see empiretoday.com/CHGO for details. Empire Today, priding themselves on their convenient at-home service.
All right. Now, there's been some mock drafts here in the last 24 hours that, I think the way I look at mock drafts is the same way I talk about them when I do mine, which is I think it's just an exercise in generating some discussion and going through the same type of processes that teams go through and to educate the fans. So I don't necessarily think this is based on any type, although I do know that Dane Brugler does try to mock things based on what he's hearing. He does say that.
He's got some it's interesting what we're about to talk about here. I'm excited.
So Dane had a projected trade. So he's still got the Bears taking Caleb number 1, as pretty much everybody in the world does, except for Jake.
No, I think Jake even has it. He just doesn't want it.
Yeah, I think he does too. And he's got a projected trade. The Bears trading up from 9 with the Chargers up to number 5 to draft Rome Odunze.
Let's go. Finally, somebody heard I was threatening people.
Well, apparently Dane heard your threats and took care of this in the draft.
Man, I would run to the podium for Rome Odunze.
Okay, so let's start at the top here. The noise is that Jim Harbaugh wants to get a haul for that 5th pick. And there is a lot of people who want to move up and get wide receivers. And even if you want to go crazy, you can throw in there a quarterback too, if somebody really loves J.J. McCarthy and they think the Giants might take him at 6. So I'm asking the question to both of you. Do you think the Bears are in the position to be giving up picks this year, picks next year, to move up to get the wide receiver that they want?
No. If Rome Odunze falls to 9, you run to the podium, but you do not trade up and give up future draft equity to draft a wide receiver. I wouldn't do it, and I don't think Ryan Poles would do it.
Hoge?
This exact situation, would I give up the 75th overall pick and a future 4th rounder to give Caleb Williams one of the top wide receivers in this draft?
Yeah.
In a situation where he's got
Say the deal one more time.
the projected trade from Dane Brugler was you're trading number 9, number 75, which is the 3rd rounder, and a future 4th rounder. So you're really only giving up a 3rd and a 4th.
You're giving up a 3rd and a 4th.
To get Rome Odunze.
I'd rather give up next year's extra 2nd round pick. Like I feel uncomfortable giving up any more draft equity in this year's draft, if that makes sense.
No, I know, and it would pretty much because that would leave you.
You could go that route, maybe.
That would leave you with Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, and 1 4th round pick. Well, and whatever you get for Justin Fields also is factored in there too. I would not sit there on draft night criticizing it. I wouldn't be upset about it. I'll tell you that. I think DJ Moore and Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams.
Good Lord.
Cole Kmet, Saquon Barkley. What I mean,
yeah, no, throw him in there. I think we should continue.
You wouldn't take that?
I don't.
I generally agree with the premise of don't trade up for the wide receiver, but that's not a lot. To me, that's not a lot.
I just started a poll on our YouTube chat as well, asking that very question: would you trade up to draft Rome Odunze?
So
I'll be happy. Like somebody, your boy Boogie saying Braggs would be happy. Of course, we get Rome Odunze. I am not going to be complaining. I will be celebrating the player himself. I'm just looking at it from an organizational standpoint and what's the smarter approach. I'm trying to get out of my feelings and try to look at it through the lens of what smart organizations do. And you look at Brian Thomas, a guy that's very talented. You look at an opportunity to trade back from 9 and add more draft picks to a very wide receiver heavy draft. You got Troy Franklin. You got, who's the kid that Ricky Pearsall. You got all these different guys that are going to appear in the second round. Who was the best wide receiver in this draft last year? Puka Nacua. What round was he? Fifth round. So, to me, it's not good business to trade up.
I agree with you.
Although I'm not going to argue you that Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, and Marvin Harrison Jr. are going to be special in this league.
I agree with you, and I don't. It seems like something that Poles wouldn't do, especially if he sits at 1. I would say it's way more likely they trade back.
They're not there yet. 2 years down the road, and their roster is loaded, and you want to trade up for a luxury pick. But they're not there yet right now. They still have a lot of holes to fill on this roster. They need a safety. They need depth on their offensive line. They need a pass rusher. You may need to draft another corner if you can't figure out your Jalen Johnson situation down the road. There's a lot of different things you got to continue to fill on this team.
So, the ideal win here is that you trade out a 9, you get a bunch of picks, and you hit on one of the or two of the wide receivers that everyone keeps on talking about, this being a very deep wide receiver draft. The problem with that is we haven't hit on those guys yet. We drafted Velus Jones. We drafted Tyler Scott. So are you good enough to identify and figure out what you didn't get right the first time, the second time? So the concern about is, are you absolutely certain, 100 and as close you can be on any draft pick, that this dude, that Rome Odunze, is going to come in here and be that guy? So it would make me nervous because, well, for one, I haven't watched him enough, and for two, just Poles his history. So, but if you're right that he is that guy, then of course you do that trade.
Well, when we had Brandon Gustafson on from Seattle, I might have just potentially butchered his last name. He covers, Gustafson. Gustafson.
This is Fargo. It was Gustafson. Mr. Gustafson.
Gustafson.
He's not a goose.
Goose Fraba.
I just love
Goose?
that. So right
Fraba.
behind the scenes, right before the show, he's bringing up Brandon Gustafson.
And I said Brian at first.
Who I don't even know if you're close to the name is correct. This is just
Brandon.
Maybe you're right.
You booked him on the show.
Yeah, it was a random radio guy who I had never heard of and was the 6th guy that I got thrown to me after. And you're like, when you had Brandon Gustafson on the show, I'm like, who's Brandon Gustafson? And now you're bringing him up.
All right.
Again
Well,
on
he
the
covered.
show.
He covers the Seattle Seahawks. We brought him on when we hired Shane Waldron.
We loved him.
To hear his Goose Fraba.
He was great.
He was
no
great.
Shot to Gustafson.
And
but
so at the end of
just say what he said.
Thank you. And at the end of the interview, I asked him about Rome Odunze, being from that area.
Oh, he loved him.
And he was a Washington grad as well. And he called Rome Odunze a hand catch god. So when we were at the Combine, I had an opportunity to ask Rome Odunze about that and his approach going up and getting the football and creating separation at the line of scrimmage. Some of the people that cover you locally at Washington called you a hand catch god. Can you talk about your approach when you go up and get it?
For me, it's the approach. People say it's 50-50. For me, it's 100-0, right? And I feel like you have to go in with that mindset that as you in the ball, that the defender is not even there. That if you go and elevate and go snag the ball, then you'll ultimately come down with it.
What's your approach at the line of scrimmage? Trying to create separation with your hands and feet and setting up the defender.
Just get jiggy. You gotta be explosive, gotta be twitchy in those sittings to create some separation, keep the defender on their toes. So not doing the expected.
Getting jiggy with it.
100-0. 100-0 on a jump ball. I love that.
Nah, not a 50-50 ball. 100-0.
I'm telling you, that dude, I just want to be on the record. Everything you said, Greg, everyone in the comments, all about not trading up for a wide receiver, bad business, all that, I 1,000% agree with. That dude's worth it. So, I'm serious. He's my wide receiver too, pushing, and I've said this before already. This is not new. I don't think there's as big of a gap between him and Marvin Harrison Jr. as many think.
Well, that's my whole thing because Dane Brugler had him trading up to 5. Is that what you said?
That's correct.
To me, if you're going to trade up, and I love Rome Odunze, but if you're trading up, you brought this up a few weeks ago. Trading up to go get Marvin Harrison Jr.
You're not doing that.
It's a different cost, though. We're talking future first-round pick, not a third and a fourth.
Well, Marvin's going to go fourth.
That's correct.
In this mock draft. So
and they want
you're
him.
saying the draft equity is that much different from fifth to fourth?
It's not about the number. It's
player?
about moving the Cardinals off of Marvin.
The Cardinals want
and they
him,
never would.
And you're not going up to you have to go up to 3.
And they're moving back to 9. They're not getting Rome either.
It's not happening.
Every individual draft trade is different. I know everyone just wants to look at those trade charts and match up the points. It's not how it works on draft night.
Right.
It's how many people are calling that phone in that given moment. What's that team desperate for? What are they willing to move off of that pick for? And I don't see it. I don't see the Cardinals. If the Cardinals move off of Marvin, I still think they would want Rome Odunze to move all the way back to 9 and get neither.
Air Jer asks in the chat, who would you comp Rome Odunze to? Do you have one?
I think he's a bigger DJ Moore. I've been saying that.
I've been saying Keenan Allen.
That's solid. But to me, he's very – the way he adjusts to the ball in the air and picks up yards after the catch, it's very similar to DJ Moore for me, but he's bigger. He's like 2 inches taller.
So it's an interesting comp that you're saying, DJ, because – when I'm watching him, I'm having a hard time figuring out what makes him elite. It's sort of the same thing with DJ. Like, how does he do it? He just does it. He just does it. He's not super fast, not that big. His hands are obviously great, but it's like, how is he doing this? But he just knows how to set you up, man.
Someone said Rob Daniel in comments says Fitzgerald. I've heard that too, Larry Fitzgerald.
I think we got 2 good super chats on this topic, too. Isaac Siegel, $5 here, says, what about Fields in the 9th for the Giants' 6th pick?
No chance.
You don't think that gets it done?
No.
I think it could. And then you wouldn't have to worry about giving up future draft capital in that move.
I like it.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
And that gets you Rome?
They don't. Despite Greg Bragg's excellent mock draft, I don't think the Giants are going to go down 3 spots for Justin. I don't.
Depends on what their draft board looks like. I don't know.
One more super chat here from H. Taraski. I'd rather secure 2 blue chips than take a gamble on a 3rd-round pick. Trade up. # yes Odunze.
Yeah. Look, most GMs will tell you this too. I mean, there's doing things that make sense business-wise, and then there are exceptions. And some players are an exception. And just because I think Rome Odunze might be worth that exception doesn't mean Ryan Poles does.
There was the picture of Caleb and Rome, smiling and laughing with each other at the combine on the field during the testing phase of the combine. So
that lock it up.
They
were smiling together on the field.
It's a great picture. Future Bears.
We have them talking about.
Yeah, let's hear what Rome Odunze had to say about possibly playing with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, definitely. I got to see Caleb firsthand. I got to see his talents and abilities. So, yeah, definitely. And I know that he has an incredible talent, and I know he's a student of the game and someone who brings a lot of passion and a lot of desire to the game. So, of course, to be paired up with him, it would be something special, I think.
That falls under the what do you think he's going to say?
Yeah.
I'd hate to play with that guy.
I agree. And then we had another clip about him. He was asked what he wants already in place on the team that drafts him.
Brilliant question by a brilliant reporter. Whoever you go to have as part of their...
A good quarterback's always nice. Someone who's a vet and he has proven himself in the quarterback room. The quarterback's a tough position to secure in the NFL. So, and it's pretty much one of the biggest factors of getting me the ball right and my success as well. So I'll probably say quarterback.
Deep in the 6th row getting that question in, which was difficult with the guy that was in the front row to my left.
Burying the lead that he said vet.
And he said vet. And I'm like, excuse me, the Bears are drafting Caleb Williams. How would you feel about that?
But again, I think it's the same thing you just said about the other clip. Like,
what's he going to say? But,
you know,
but this one from a Genius reporter was a little more open-ended. Like, what do you want? And, he said vet QB. So...
because he answered your question, you're taking this one as gospel.
Well, I think that he probably was just searching for an answer, and he came up with that, and he didn't really give it a second thought, and that was the end of that. But I still think that my question was better than Greg Braggs' question. But before I tell you about PrizePicks, I do want to throw out there, she's on vacation right now, and I don't want to create a competition when we can't do it one-on-one. But listening to his questions and seeing his performance at the Combine, I don't think there's anyone in town that could possibly challenge Courtney Cronin for press conference supremacy. With the boldness and the voice and the power, and as you nod your head,
Told you.
What
did I say before we left for the Combine? I said I'm coming for you, Cronin. I'm not afraid. Like the rest of you.
I'll take
you guys
Courtney.
are all afraid of Courtney.
I'll take Courtney.
I'm not afraid of Courtney.
I mean, I would still take Courtney, but you're something. There's no doubt about it.
You're something.
We're supposed to be bringing him back down to earth, Carm. So if you could stop doing that, that'd be great.
Okay. I mean, fair enough.
This is the guy who said, quote unquote, I am a god right now.
I mean,
on Monday
true.
night.
You could address. This is where PrizePicks come in, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. The easiest and most exciting way to play it. It's just you against the numbers. We should have done. PrizePicks should have had a mock on Cronin versus Braggs. You could have
more or less.
You could have done pick more than or less than Cronin versus Braggs on a 2-6 player stat projection. This would have been a 2-1, and you could have watched the winnings roll in if you had bet on Greg Braggs in half those press conferences, which was damn ass impressive. Yep, football season may be over. Braggs is never over. Action on the floor, by the way, if you don't want to bet Cronin Braggs, you can actually bet some hoops here. Tournament season, the fight for playoff home court. No shortage of high-stakes hoop moments this time of year. Get in on the action with PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. You can also now find community plays under the promo tabs of the app to view entries of some of the biggest names in the PrizePicks community each week. PrizePicks, simple to play. You can put your picks and submit an entry. It can literally take you about 60 seconds to get it going here. And by the way, you can turn your skills, your betting knowledge, your sports knowledge. You could take $10, turn it to $1,000. Just a few taps, quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, enormous selection of players, stat types. Wherever you want to go, PrizePicks got you covered. The #1 daily sports app. Go to PrizePicks.com/CHGO. Use that code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks.com/CHGO. Use that code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy.
That's right. And make sure you're picking CHGO when you're becoming a diehard here at CHGO Sports. No time better than right now to become one. Go to allchgo.com/diehard to sign up. You get a free shirt right out the gate. As we mentioned earlier, the Chicago collection with some really cool designs in honor of the birthday. What is it? The 187th birthday for Chicago and the 2-year anniversary here at CHGO Sports. We brought out these new shirt designs and collection for you. You get a free shirt right out the gate. So if you become a diehard, you can get one of these. Like I said, the newsletter that Adam Hoge puts out weekly is exclusive to diehards only. Bears 100 draft guide that we did last year as well. A nice infrastructure for you to get yourself ready as a Bears fan for the NFL draft. That Bears 100 draft guide is specific to the Bears needs and not just an overall, big board for the NFL. Like I said, discounts on shirts even going forward after you get that free shirt right out the gate. Discounts on events like our upcoming draft party. We're 50 days away from the draft party that we'll be throwing just like we did last year here in Chicago. So make sure you stay tuned for that announcement, which is imminent. But if you become a diehard, you get a discount on that event as well, including future events. We've got a lot of fun stuff planned for the summer with our baseball teams here in Chicago. So make sure, once again, you go to allchgo.com/diehard and get the perks that you can get when you do.
Small piece of NFL news. Zach Ertz signing with the Commanders on a 1-year deal worth up to $5 million, according to multiple reports.
Congratulations to Zach and the Commanders. Congratulations to our new diehards, Joshua, sturdy, bold, reliable. Love him in winter, love him in summer. Joshua. And then John. A great, great liquor store in Iowa City. And also just biblical. And also, he's a biblical John. And he's also nails on the mound. When it's a big game, you want John around with you for all your viewing. John is the man. April. Springtime. Anytime. April. The flower is blooming.
National championship time.
That's right.
There's
April.
no chance Purdue plays a game in April.
April, she's not about tricking you. She's not about the first. She's about the rest of the month. April, you're our favorite April. I think our first April. And then there's Andrew.
You're a walking jinx, so I like when you say things like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Andrew.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
Nobody's talking to you.
You have to understand what Andrew does.
What does Andrew do?
Andrew's a guy that not only was focused in math class.
Here's a guy.
But he showed up ready to go every single day with a purpose. Andrew knew that he wasn't going to take anything for granted. And Andrew, we are not taking you for granted as one of our new diehards. And then there's Kareem. Vastly overrated by Nick Wright, but rightly rated by me. The skyhook, the perseverance, year after
goggles.
year. So many things to love about Kareem. Welcome in, Kareem. You're an outstanding diehard. And then Eric with a K. Doesn't go the C route. Blazes his own trail in life. And Eric like no other. Our favorite Eric. Our newest diehard. Eric with a K.
You can never trust a guy, an Eric, when his last name is, the last letter is
Where
K.
are you going with this?
You just told one of our new diehards that you can't trust
I
him.
think that's our second one now. And it's just
Go find yourself
you
a
spelled
balcony
your
to-
name wrong.
You're telling Eric that he spelled his name wrong?
Or like Eric
telling his parents?
CK, then that's a very confused individual. Then Eric with a K is just blatantly wrong. Eric with a C, that's how you do it. Eric
According to who?
Eric Bochatin, who's in our chat every day.
You could spell
Eric
your
with a
name
C.
however you want.
Huh?
You could spell your name however you want.
How do I spell my name?
Yeah, why is it okay, Mark?
DUMBASS. See, look at Eric Bochatin. Just got a shout out. There he is.
Why? How come Mark can be with
Braggs
a K?
is correct. Eric Bochatin.
Okay.
Eric Bochatin has never had his name said this much in the history of the world. And the fact that you were able to pull out Eric Bochatin out of nowhere is impressive. Shout out Eric Bochatin.
All right,
The chat is my people,
we got to get to super chats.
except for Friel.
I just want everybody to know.
We got 16 of them today.
This is what Steven and I have been dealing with since.
I'm going back to the Blackhawks, guys.
Yeah. Can I come?
Carm's been pissing me off all day since I walked in here.
How is that different than any other day?
Just more so than any other day.
It was
All right.
late again today and late.
Steven, just mute them.
I don't.
Before we get to the super chats, here's what we got going on today on CHGO 3:30. We got CHGO Cubs, Justin Steele on getting the nod for the Northsiders today in Arizona. It's also Luke Stuckmeyer's birthday today, guys.
Oh,
Let's go.
Luke.
Greg Boyson yesterday.
Yep.
His lovely wife Stacy brought in an unbelievable taco spread. I think some
Yep.
of it's still in the fridge for you guys. And Charlie the Bacon Guy brought a bacon platter for Greg.
Yeah.
So we were eating good last night.
I'd like
weren't
to
we,
apologize.
While
Steven?
you're watching the Purdue game and
Yeah.
not the Blackhawks game.
Yeah, and doing a award-winning Purdue post-game show. But the food was good. You guys missed out.
I didn't. I stole a slice of bacon off of Greg's birthday tray, and I'd like to apologize right now to Greg Boyson for doing that. I didn't know it was for him. I thought it was for CHGO, not Greg.
It literally said on top of the tinfoil with a Post-it note, "Happy birthday, Greg."
I didn't.
And you ate it.
I did. It was delicious. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it.
You are
Whoops.
a special individual.
But once I found out that it was for Greg, I didn't eat any more.
All right, tune in to wish Luke Stuckmeyer happy birthday today, please. And at 5 o'clock, got CHGO White Sox, and then CHGO Bulls tonight, pregame 7:30, previewing their matchup against the Utah Jazz. Got Peck, Big Dave, Will, postgame to follow the game tonight against the Jazz. All right, Martin Ochoa, $4.99. I saw from the New York Daily News, the Giants beat writer Pat Leonard called the Bears one of the primary suitors for Saquon. Good idea, or don't pay running backs? Yeah, we touched on this yesterday. I think the Bears are in a rare spot where it's kind of a luxury signing, and they can afford it. And I don't think it would cost them too much in the future to do so. So I'm on the pay Saquon train. I have no problem with it.
I'd be super excited if the Bears went that route. That dude is exciting when the ball's in his hand. I like playmakers. I like Saquon.
Love playmakers.
Bears have a lot of dough.
Bear Down Omaha, $2. I didn't do shit, but I still apologize to Carm.
Thank you so much, Bear Down Omaha. You're my guy. You know this.
Don't ever apologize.
We got a guy in the chat, Edward Rehak, Europe, Slovakia. Guys, love your podcast. All the way from Slovakia. That's pretty cool.
Thanks, Edward.
Yeah. So I just thought
I don't think it's Edward, though. It's
How would you say it?
Edward.
Okay,
I think
there
it's
you
still
go.
Edward.
It's probably still Edward.
Edward.
Shout out to Slovakia.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever it is, you're the man.
George Bayless coming in here with 5 pound sterling dollars, as Braggs would say.
That's right.
Greg, you want to handle this one?
Yes,
I think this is
This
to
is
you.
Barelissimo, so this is to all of us.
Okay.
He says to our conversation earlier about, shitting on Fields or whatever, and our explanation across the board on it. He says, apology to CHGO main account, nuance missed by me. Shitting on was too strong. Keep Fields money for 1 year for drafted QB to grow. I'll video a message apology.
Damn right you will.
Carm's serious, too.
Video isn't necessary, but we appreciate the super chat and your support and your
So he
apology.
didn't apologize to us. He apologized to the main account.
Yes.
He apologized to a Twitter account.
Well, but we're associated. Well, thank you, Barelissimo.
Just accept the goddamn apology. Jesus.
Barelissimo, just know I don't take this stuff that seriously. I
Yes.
don't need an apology.
I do.
It's okay.
Apologize.
It's all right. Patrick Metz, $5. Could Tampa Bay be a dark horse for a Fields trade since they didn't tag Baker? Pick 57 and 202. Check back in Monday. I mean, it still seems like Baker's going to sign there, but, until it happens, we'll have to see.
Rumors are that he's going back there, but yes, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see for the time being.
You want to take Crystals here?
$9.99 from the MVP. Crystal, as always, as a Fields fan, you all have not done or said anything wrong about him. Thank you, Crystal. I don't want to hear some of it, but you all are like reporting the facts. Keep up the good work, guys. F what they say. Crystal supports.
Hell yeah,
Crystal's
Crystal.
Crystal gets it. And
Crystal's the shit.
And like all the Bears, Crystal's going to be there at our tailgate next year. Everybody's going to want the Bears to win. All going to be on the same team again.
Let me also put out there,
Caleb's going to win Rookie of the Year.
I've also been the only one that's out there trying to get Justin signed on a very team-friendly deal that everyone's yelling at me. They'll never do that. They'll never, which they probably won't. But I tried that one too.
Yes. You say a lot of stupid things on the show.
You do cover all bases.
Yes, thank you. 4 years, $80 million. Let's go.
You throw a lot out there.
As much as I can.
And you sing too much.
We're here every day. I got to...
Well, some of us are here every day.
Ass must be sore from all that fence riding.
Ooh.
Okay.
Toxic King Christian, $2. Carm has the voice of an angel. Sing it again. Maybe to close the show.
Justin Fields.
Well, we could do it on the way out. I'll do the second verse on the way out for you, Toxic King.
The second.
I'll be
oh
on.
my God,
I'll be on
there's a
the
second
outbound
verse.
Kennedy by the time you do that. Tie Day, $10. Can you guys help me understand why people have so many issues with Caleb Williams not doing combine events, but I have not heard anything critical about Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. doing the same thing? Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't even show up.
That's not entirely true. He did show up.
He was there.
You know, but I did say to some friends, could you imagine if Caleb Williams just unexpectedly didn't do the media scrum? You know, and I know Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't do it. And even if you miss your time slot, you can come back later if he had other things going on, and he just never did, which is fine. And if the Bears ended up with Marvin Harrison Jr., just like some of these other players we're talking about, I'm not going to be complaining about having a great talent on my team. But again, could you imagine the vitriol Caleb Williams would have received from Bears fans specifically had he not been at the podium to meet the press the way Marvin Harrison
Fair
Jr.
point,
did.
Gregory.
Mr. T, $4.99. It's going to be so funny if Fields is not traded.
Mr. T, prepare to be wrong.
I mean, I'm not going to say it would be crazy. And for some it would be funny for the amount we have covered Caleb Williams. And if they were to trade the pick back and keep Fields, yeah, that would be very crazy. I mean, it would be very unexpected. As I've said, if they do that, we can meet somewhere and you can chuck meatballs at us. That's my deal to you guys. If Justin Fields remains a Bear and they trade the number 1 pick, we can meet at Grant Park and you guys can chuck meatballs at us all day long for charity. It'll
Don't
be a
say
lot of
us.
fun. Yeah. Oh, no.
I'm not
you guys.
showing up.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You can't say crazy things like that
I
and bring
can
us
say plenty of crazy things, and you have to follow me into the pits of hell with me.
No.
Okay, we're not following you. Good
Also,
luck.
it doesn't matter because it's not happening.
And look,
So then agree to it. If they keep Justin Fields and they trade the number 1 pick, we let all our viewers meet us somewhere and throw meatballs at us for our shame moment for ever suggesting that something else would happen. Jake's going to be chucking meatballs at us. So just agree to it. If you're not afraid that it's not going to happen, just agree to it.
all right, I've reached
Agree to it, old man.
I've reached my point of
Agree to
listening
it.
to
You're
nonsense.
scared. You're both scared. Look at you two.
I'm not
It's
scared.
nothing to do with being
scared to have
scared.
fun.
It has to do with not setting precedent that you can just drag me into any of your stupidity.
I
at
absolutely
any given
can.
time. This is about precedent.
So you're scared. Is that what it is?
Of
You're scared?
what?
You scared of the
I'm
meatballs?
scared of your
Are you scared of the
stupidity, yes.
meatballs? You scared of the
No.
meatballs? You scared to have fun?
No, once again, I think the meatball should be frozen, and I will join in throwing them. I'll join the people throwing them at you.
Okay.
Craig Muller, our show weatherman, Diehard, who has been in our happy hours before. If the Bears, $4.99 super chat, if Bears don't get an offer they like, any chance they move Justin Fields to the backfield? Imagine how good he could be as a running back / gadget guy. Your thoughts?
Ain't happening, but I don't completely hate the thought, as crazy as it is.
Oh my God.
I don't.
Stop.
If you're getting absolutely nothing for him, I don't mind him. I wouldn't put him at running back, but let him hang around.
Taysom Hill roll?
Yeah, let's go.
Ben Wallace, $4.99. Hey, Braggs, congrats on your big win last night. Hope you enjoyed the first round exit.
I was almost just about to put my hands up and say thank you.
Yep.
And then you
He
dropped
had you in the
that
first
at
half,
end.
not going to
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
me in the first half, just like Illinois did last night, Ben.
Carlo Reyes, $2. Can we trade Carr?
No, you can't, Carlo. You're
We
stuck with
were
me.
discussing, trade packages for Carm last night in our group chat.
Right, I was traded for Barrelissimo, if memory recalls, and that's and then I decided I was debating: do I leave just the group chat, or do I just quit Slack too, or do I send a hitman to Braggs' house? I'm not exactly
How
sure.
tough of a night was last night that you actually had to respond to messages in the evening about
Yeah, you didn't
the
know.
show you work on?
Oh, first of all, I led the charge, Hoge. If you go back, I wasn't responding; I was leading, and then you guys had great benefit that I was doing what I was doing, so I decided that I would continue to do that. I can't wait to talk to you guys tonight.
Chris Big Arrow, $9.99. I know this could be just a spur of the moment thing because of the combine, but Xavier Worthy, the returning punts, because he did that at Texas, trading down from 9.
Well, you throw in the new kickoff rules too, Chris. I'm interested.
Yeah, I am interested in that. I'm a little worried about him as, actually being a receiver, but can't deny speed. 4.21, pretty fast.
He looked really, really, really fast.
Bears could definitely use a punt returner. It would make a huge difference. Toxic King Christian, 199. Neighbors is the next. Jamar, he's better than Odunze.
What excites me about all three guys is I've seen different people say this guy is my favorite between the three.
Yeah.
So there's this like
Well, Odunze's way cleaner as just the overall prospect. Neighbors is. But Neighbors' talent, there's no denying it. No denying it. Yoshino, $10. If Odunze is drafted before our next first-round pick, what other wide receivers would we go for? Would it be possible that the Bears draft Rice to pair with Caleb?
No, it is not. Not in the first round.
Well, not that early. I got to do more homework on where I actually think Brandon Rice will go.
I mean, that's sure later round.
Yeah.
No
They
problem.
don't have later round picks.
Well, within the top
Anywhere
5
after
rounds.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the 4th round.
Yeah.
Toxic King Christian, 199. Thoughts on giving Ridley 3 years, 66, taking a D lineman at 9?
You could end up with Dallas at 9, but and number 1 defensive player. The way a lot of these mocks are going. Some people think
I'm not interested in Calvin Ridley. I don't know about you. Is that what he's asking?
Yeah.
that is what he's asking.
I'm not interested in Calvin.
Why not?
His legs should be pretty fresh. He had that whole season he missed because of the gambling thing, and he missed
3
the
years,
tail end of the season
66.
prior to that.
3 years, 66.
Yeah, that's a little rich for me.
It's
But
pretty
the
pricey.
player itself is an interesting one.
If he's cheaper than that, I would take a hard look.
He probably is cheaper than that.
Well, when they brought in Allen Robinson from Jacksonville, that worked out for a couple years.
It's only 29. It's not, should be some gas left in the tank. I don't hate it. Just in general, the philosophy of bringing in at least one free agent wide receiver, I think they're going to do.
I've already had his brother before, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crystal, 199. Hey, Braggs. Use K people are awesome.
Yeah.
This is the Eric with a K.
Oh.
Crystal spells her name with a K.
And that's true, Crystal. I mean, you also spell your name wrong, as lovely as you are. I mean, technically, this is an awkward moment because we love you very much, Crystal, but your name is spelled wrong. Maybe it was a typo, at the delivery room.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, stop talking. Denise, Crystal, you're absolutely correct. Denise Walters, rough moment for Carm. I'm just wondering if you guys end up being wrong about Justin being traded, then are you going to get traded? Fired.
You guys end up being wrong about Justin being traded, then are you gonna get traded?
We're not. Wondering because still haven't heard any actual news from Ryan Poles' mouth. You're wrong though, Denise.
You heard Ryan Poles talk a week ago about trading him, which no general manager talks about trading their starting quarterback.
We'd like to do right by Justin and not let it drag out that he doesn't want to have him live in the gray.
There seriously should be some I don't know what the right Harvard or Yale study done on this entire thing on people's brains taking in information and just refusing to actually register it because they just don't like what the information is.
People hear what they want to hear.
I mean, you heard the general manager last week talk about it.
Last year at this time, he was saying, I'd have to be blown away. This year at this time, he was talking about doing right by Justin.
So when he was asked, all right, if you're going to draft a quarterback and trade Justin Fields, how will that look? And he said, if we go down that road, we want to do right by Justin. So, when you talk about hear what you want to hear, for people that were saying, well, he said, if we go down that road, that doesn't mean they will.
GMs don't even talk about going down that road.
Right.
Guy Finley, $9.99. I know it's not sexy, but this left tackle class is amazing. Excuse me. One Al-Fashanu or Fuaga will be there at 9 or further back. What do you think?
Yes.
Yes, Guy.
I agree with you.
Agreed. And they
all of them, and the only thing is I don't know if Fashanu can play left tackle, so if you went with Fashanu, who I like a lot, I think you'd be talking about moving Darnell Wright to left tackle.
And Fashanu played high school ball with Caleb, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Gonzaga College Prep High School.
Caleb's left tackle in high school.
It's just not, for me, it's not the biggest position of need. So I don't think they're going to go that route. But you never know. Maybe they've had little bit of a flip on Braxton from this time last year. Nuku, I missed you, Matt Nuku. My guy, $1.99. Nothing to say, really. Just want to support. Thanks. You're
Thanks,
the
Matt.
That's Nuku. You're the best. Appreciate you.
And then Austin closing us out here, $5. How do we feel about Curtis Samuel? Talked about him yesterday. He was on Nick's. Was it yesterday or Monday?
That was Monday.
Monday. And Nick had Curtis Samuel on his top 5 free agent targets for the Bears. I'm a little bit more lukewarm on Curtis Samuel, but Nicholas Moreano is all in.
Teaming back up with DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
We ready?
Adventurous day.
Is it over?
Oh, God.
No, don't do this.
No, we got to do it.
Don't
Ready?
do this.
Hoge, did you have a story too?
I do have a story. I just wanted to give a shout out to my guy Jason at Binny's in Vernon Hills. He listens to the show all the time. He helps me with bourbon, and he is a classic Bears fan because he already has visions of us going to Arizona next year, and
I'll be in Arizona in April.
Caleb Williams struggling while Marvin Harrison Jr. catches 3 touchdowns. This is what he was telling me at Penny's the other night. And I'm just like, poor Bears fans. This is what we're conditioned to do. We take the greatest of scenarios and just assume the worst possible thing is going to happen.
Listen, we've made the playoffs once in the last 11 years.
I get it.
We got a backdoor $20 super chat just rolling in from Kevin Carlson. This offseason, we as Bears fans should be so happy and positive, but we have all been arguing over JF1 and Caleb. This has been one of the weirdest off seasons for sure. I get it though; it's great content.
Thank you, Kevin.
Even beyond the content, it is just the quarterback has always been a divided conversation in this city, and so it's not going to change when a decision between Justin Fields and Caleb Williams and two of the more talented quarterbacks the Bears have ever had to decide between. It's not like we're picking between Rex Grossman and Kyle Orton or, some of the guys in the past, Jonathan Quinn and, players of that nature. These are two talented quarterbacks, and trying to pick between the two isn't the easiest of tasks.
All my memories, 1985, Walter Payton, Mongo McMichael, Lou Getsy, set Fields free, use the RPO, QB zone read, Justin Fields, run the ball, to the place you belong, in the end zone. Come on, Jake, scoring touchdowns. Justin Fields, run the ball.
Forever.
We all silly like the mayor.